Hello everyone, welcome to science class. I Geeta Jain, science teacher of class 6, again here with revision questions of chapter 3, fiber to fabric. The very short answer type questions. Name two varieties of cloth materials which are commonly used. Commonly, if I talk about, we generally use cotton, silk or wool. What are fabrics? Fabrics mean a woven cloth material. Name some fabrics in your surroundings. Okay, in your surroundings, if you see, you can find out bed sheets, blankets, curtains, tablecloths, towels, and dusters. These are the very common fabrics which you can see around in your surroundings. The next question, name the things which is used to make fabric. Yes, the yarns are used to make fabric. What are yarns made of? Another question, yarns are made up of thin strands of thread called fibers. Clear? So the fabric is made up from yarns and yarns are made up from the fibers. How many types of fibers are there? There are two types of fibers, natural fibers and synthetic fibers. Natural fibers which we obtain from the nature and the synthetic fibers which are obtained from the chemical substances. Name two natural fibers. Here we have to write the name of two natural fibers. They may be plant fibers or they may be animal fiber. Any example you can write it. So here we have written cotton and jute. Name two synthetic fibers. Again you can write here polyester, nylon, acrylic, terylene. Whatever do you remember, you can write any two synthetic fibers. What material you use for making wicks for oil lamps? Yes, to make the wicks of oil lamps, we generally use cotton wool. Where does the cotton wool come from? Yes, cotton wool comes from cotton balls. Another thing is that is the important thing, that from where does this cotton wool come from? This cotton wool comes from cotton balls. What are fruits of cotton plants called? The fruit of the cotton plants are called cotton balls. What type of soil is used to grow cotton plants? Yes, the black soil is being used to grow the cotton plants. Define ginning of cotton. The process of separating fibers from the seeds of cotton is called ginning. Very important term. Yes, the separation of the seeds from the fibers by the combing them, and all the seeds are being separated. That process is known as ginning. Name the states where jute plants are mainly grown in India. Yes, the jute plants are grown in West Bengal, Bihar and Assam. And the question may also come like that. Name the states where cotton plants are grown. Yes, watch the previous video and you can find it out that which states in India where the cotton plants are grown. What is spinning? The process of making yarns from fibers is called spinning. Okay, the process by which yarns are made from fibers is called spinning. Name two hand operated devices used for spinning. For spinning, the two devices which are used are takli and charkha. Short answer type questions. List the steps involved in the preparation of fabric. The following steps are involved in the preparation of fabrics. First, to get the fiber. The second preparation, converting the fibers to yarn. That means preparation of yarn from the fibers. And what do we call that process? Yes, we call that process spinning. When two sets of yarn are involved and yarns are woven on looms to make a fabric, what do we call that process? Yes, we call that process as weaving. What do we call it? Weaving. Clear? And when a single yarn is being used to make a piece of fabric, we called it knitting. Clear, everyone? Okay, when the single yarn is being used, we call it fabric, and when the two sets of yarns are used to make a piece of fabric, that process is known as weaving. Write difference between natural and synthetic fibers. You have to write the difference between natural and the synthetic fibers. The fibers obtained from plants and animals are called natural fibers, and the fibers which are made from chemical substances or which are not obtained from the plants and animal sources are called synthetic fibers. The examples of natural fibers are cotton, we get it from the cotton balls, jute from jute plant, silk from cocoon of silkworm, and wool from hair of animals like sheep or goat. Synthetic fibers like polyester, nylon, and acrylic. So these are the few examples of synthetic fibers. Explain how jute is obtained from the jute plant. Jute plant is normally harvested at flowering stage. So in the one or two sentences, in the very short answer sort of question, the question may come like this. At what stage the jute plants are harvested? So the jute plants are generally harvested when they are at flowering stage. The stems of harvested plants are bundled and immersed in water for 10 to 15 days. The stem rot and the fibers are separated by hand. These fibers are converted into yarns to make fabrics, and that process is known as rating. Yes, when the stem is being immersed in water and the fibers are separated by hand, and that process is known as rating. So the question may come like that also. Define rating. So here in this one question we are covering three questions. First, at what stage the jute plants are harvested? So jute plants are harvested when they are at flowering stage. Define rating. When the harvested stem is being immersed in water for few days, the stem rot and the fibers are separated by hand. That process is called rating. And another question, how jute is obtained from the jute plant. What are looms? The device on which weaving of fabrics take place are called looms. The looms are either hand operated or power operated. The devices on which the weaving of fabric takes place, those devices are known as looms. They can be either hand operated or power operated. What happens when a yarn from a torn sock is pulled? Okay, what will happen if the yarn of a torn sock is being pulled out? When we pull a yarn from a torn sock, then a single yarn gets pulled out continuously as the fabric gets unraveled, and socks are made up of knitted fabrics from a single yarn. Yes, we all have done this activity. What were the materials used by people in ancient times in places of clothes? It appears that in those days people used the bark and big leaves of trees or animal skin and furs in places of clothes. What happened when people began to settle in agricultural communities? When people began to settle in agricultural communities, then they learned to weave twigs and grass into mats and baskets. Vines, animals' fleece, or hair were twisted together into long strands, and these strands were woven into fabrics. So actually, if we say the fabrics was started when the people started settling at the time of agricultural communities. Long answer type questions. Yes, which carry the maximum marks. Describe the process of the formation of yarn from cotton wool. That means how we are getting the yarn from the cotton wool. The cotton wool is obtained from cotton plants. Clear all of you that from where are we getting the cotton wool? Yes, we are getting it from the cotton plants. The cotton plants are grown in fields. They are usually grown at the places having black soil and warm climate. So the question may come like that. Where do we grow cotton plants? So cotton plants are grown at the places having black soil and warm climate. The fruits of the cotton plants are called cotton bolls. Clear? So the question may come also like that. And then CQ sort of questions. What do we call the fruit of the cotton plant? It is known as cotton bolls. After maturing, the bolls burst open and seeds covered with cotton fibers can be seen. From the cotton balls, cotton is picked by hands and fibers are then separated from the seeds by combing, and the process is known as ginning. It is done by hand or by machines, and these fibers are then converted into yarn. Describe the process of spinning and weaving. The process of making yarn from fibers is called spinning. In this process, fibers from a mass of cotton wool are drawn out and twisted. By this, fibers come together to form a yarn. Spinning can be done by hand, by takli, or by charkha. On a large scale, spinning is done with the help of machines. What about the weaving? The process of arranging two sets of yarns together to make a fabric is called weaving. The process of weaving can be done on looms. The looms are either hand operated or power operated. The question may come like this. It may come like that. Define spinning, define weaving, write difference between spinning and weaving. Thank you and keep learning.